What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for July 30th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the podcast. It is Tuesday, so that means it's time for a little motivation / positivity. And today we're going to continue our discussion on men's issues. And last week we talked about kids. Today we're going to talk about something that probably, I'm not sure how this one's going to go over. And I don't know if this is just something that is specific to me or whether there's more of you out there that share this. I'm sure there is, but that is body image. And today it might be a little bit all over the place because I have so many different ideas and things running through my head. But I mean, that could be your weight, hair, teeth, really a lot of the same things that truthfully women suffer from. And honestly, looks, it's the first thing that somebody notices about you. So obviously there are some things. And for me, the biggest thing is just my weight. And it's something I've kind of always sort of struggled with slightly, and you don't really talk about it. And it's not something you say, I mean, I get on here and I've been coming at you and making sure for accountability reasons and things like that. Men talk about it like that. Oh, I lost some weight, or I put up a PR at the gym, or whatever it could be. But I guess this is going to be more about just those feelings of like insecurity and things like that. And I always go back to the Kanye West song about when I forget the exact quote, and I don't even remember the song, but we all have insecurities. I'm just the first to admit it, or we're all insecure. I'm just the first to admit it. 100%. I have this issue. It's just, especially in the summertime, going to the pool, feeling concerned about taking your shirt off, getting into the pool, and things like that. I've been called every name over the course of my life that is somewhat related. I mean, sometimes it's funny and you kind of just go with it, but it is one of those things that sometimes you overcompensate for. You crack the joke first before everybody else is. Obviously, a lot of people call me Jimbo, so it's like, oh yeah, Slimbo and things like that. But it's important to know that we're all going through this, and whether you go to the gym all the time. I know I listened to Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, and I talked about that. He had some issues with when he came over and started competing in bodybuilding. So I really do think this is an issue or something that maybe not to a super big level, but is on everyone's mind. I know there's a lot. You hear the commercials for Dr. Glatt all the time on the sports radio stations, and I know people that are balding have issues with that. And I mean, from my own personal experience, last year I had a case of alopecia. Dermatologists have no idea what caused it. They said it could be stress, it could be this, but I had to be in my brother's wedding with a couple huge patches of bald spots on the back of my head. I had a couple patches on my beard. And I mean, it was just one of those things. Like, I look at the pictures now and it still is painful, but I think it's worth knowing that, and it's easy to say, trust me when I say this, it's easy to say, be comfortable in your own skin and things like that. But every time I go to the pool, it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, all right, especially when you're hanging with people that are in better shape than me and things like that. And it's just always been a struggle. And if you're out there and you're struggling with similar things, trust me when I say you're not alone. I've been very clear. I've gone to therapy, not so much about my weight, but I highly recommend going to therapy because it is one of those things that's done wonders for me. If you need help with that or anything, again, hit me up on any of the socials, the Back to the Future Voice and text line, or if you have my personal contact information, hit me up offline and I'll kind of help you. But just know it's not a competition. Just be healthy, be you. And again, I'm sitting here saying this as somebody who has issues with this, and it is a struggle. There's some days where it's just like, hey, it is what it is. This is me. I do go work out 5 days a week, trying to do it. I know part of mine is my diet. Originally, though, it was not necessarily something I had control over. I had asthma pretty bad when I was a kid. So the inhaler I was on was steroids, and I was on it while I was going through my growth spurt. So it just sort of has been one of those things. But again, 99% of the time, and I can say this for sure, nobody's judging you. Nobody, for the most part, is saying, oh my God, look at you. It's mostly mental. But again, I get it. And if you need any help talking about that, let me know. I even have issues sometimes when I go to the gym and I see people that are lifting more weights than me. And I'm like, oh, I should be doing this, should be doing that. And like I've said a couple times, you kind of move, run your own race, run your thing. But just know that you're not alone. And if it is something that you would like some extra help with, reach out to someone. You can reach out to me. I'll help guide you. But body image issues are not something that is 100%, or they're not something that are 100% specific to women. Guys go through it. Like I said, I go through it every day. So hopefully this is something that can help motivate you to maybe talk to someone, give you a little bit of confidence, whatever you need. Take from this what you will, but it certainly, like I said, is something that I don't want to say plague, because I don't necessarily think that's the right words, but it is something that every single day of my life I deal with. Like, I have to go into my office for meetings 2 days next week, and I'm in between sizes right now, so I have stuff that's either way too big or way too tight, and it stresses me out somewhat. I don't necessarily want to go buy new stuff because I'm transforming and in process, but those are like the little things that sometimes gives me anxiety and things like that. So again, body image issues, let me know if you need anything. Go talk to someone, but just know you're not alone with that. And hopefully, again, these next couple weeks with some of the issues that we're not supposed to talk about as men, we're not supposed to have these issues, we're not supposed to go through, we're going through it. And I think it's time we start making it more open and talk about it. So if you would like to talk about it, or need someone, or need some help, or anything like that, hit me up and I'll be more than happy to help you. And I highly recommend, no matter what issues and things you're going through right now, talk to somebody. There's no shame in that. It is, like I said, it did wonders for me, my relationship. So no shame in that. But that has been today's Tuesday Motivation Podcast as we continue our men's issues that we have. We talked about kids, now body image. We still have relationships and money coming up. And again, hopefully this might not be 100% relevant to you, but maybe there's something in there that you can take out. And that has always been sort of our focus here when we do the Tuesday motivation / positivity. All right. I do want to say welcome to any new listeners we have out there. I know we grow every day. So if you are a new listener, Tuesdays are motivation positivity days. And it's something I started after the Damar Hamlin thing, and everybody kind of came together. So we're always just trying to motivate, trying to be positive, bring some whatever you need to your weeks. But we are in the middle of our men's issues, not necessarily health, just men's issues just to get us through the rest of the summer. But I do feel that they're important because I don't think I'm the only one that struggles with some of these things. So hopefully you can take something. But again, welcome. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And on that same note, I've had some people reach out just about how the past couple weeks the shows have been varying lengths as far as time. And truthfully, I don't have like I need to get X amount of minutes in. I kind of take it. A lot of it is dependent upon what's happening in Philly sports. We did the tournament because there was really nothing going on. Show will never be less than 10 minutes, and I will always strive to keep it under 30, but it can fall anywhere in that. So thanks for everybody who asked out. Yeah, no, it's not that I'm phasing out or doing anything different. It's just sometimes it's what's on the schedule, so to speak. But I always will try to keep it concise. I'm not going to go, and sometimes I ramble. That's what I like to do sometimes. But I'm not going to just drag something out to hit a specific time marker. But as always, thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe anywhere you're listening and watching. And even if you're listening, subscribe to the YouTube channel. YouTube's sort of the thing that helps propel it all, because everything is, believe it or not, somehow everything is connected through YouTube. So YouTube will help guide everything else. Social media, Jimbo_Mont at Twitter and TikTok, at Instagram, at Philly Jimbo. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you can find me. And if you let me know if you found one of my cards somewhere. I had a lady call me from Warminster the other day because she saw my card in a pizza shop up there and wanted to talk about, she found one of her husband's old 1980 Phillies World Series tickets. So trying to coordinate with her and set up a time to go check that out, which is just a really, to me, really cool piece of memorabilia. So if you found me through my card, let me know that as well. All right. From the positive stuff to the Phillies now. It is trade deadline day. I don't know. Dombrowski said he's done unless he can get some sort of great deal. I don't know. I just don't know. Recapping yesterday's question of the day, I did ask you, do you think they need to do something else? And a resounding 75% of you, again, we're breaking records with the question of the day. So thank you for that. More people voted in this than have voted in any other poll we've run in the 2 years, or almost 2 years of this podcast. But 75% said they need to do something. And I mean, whether that's a starter, whether that is another outfielder, whether that is another reliever, I don't think anything should be off the table. And if you can very much so upgrade your team before 6 p.m. tonight, you should certainly do that. And then I don't even know what to talk about, where to start, if we should even talk about that game yesterday. Just absolutely brutal. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and get on Zach Wheeler because this is really his first absolute dud of a game all year. Aaron Judge is good. I mean, let's just throw that out there right now. Aaron Judge is one hell of a ball player. It kills that Jazz Chisholm killed us, but whatever. But, I mean, they waved the white flag last night, brought Garrett Stubbs in to pitch. Once again, they lost the first game of a series, and they're not playing well. I'm not panicking all the way yet, but I was sort of in that I'm concerned camp last week. I'm slowly getting into the panic mode, and if you're not, help me, because I am slowly getting there. It could be the PTSD from the Eagle season, and I'm not ready to say that this is Eagle season yet, but they need to do something, and I don't know if a trade is the answer. Maybe they need to have a players-only meeting. I know Bryce kind of called everyone out. He hasn't really done shit since he called everyone out, and I mean, he to his credit, I'm not throwing Bryce under the bus. He said, myself included, I just think they're trying too hard. And as Rob Thompson said yesterday, the team is too talented. They're going through a rough stretch right now, though they will get out of it. But I don't know. And to all those saying it's a Rob Thompson issue, no. I will not put this yet on Rob Thompson because they're just not hitting. Rob Thompson is not getting, and I think sometimes coaches get too much of the blame and too much of the credit sometimes. But Rob Thompson is not the guy going into the batter's box and just swinging at the first pitch and popping it up. He's not the guy in the field throwing to the wrong base. He's not the guy in a rundown not covering the base. He's not the guy completely misplaying a fly ball. So I don't know what the solution is. A players-only meeting. Maybe, to be honest, maybe going out on the West Coast, even though it's a tough swing. Seattle, the Dodgers, and Arizona. Maybe a team bonding experience going out on the West Coast, traveling for an extended time is what this team needs. Luckily, the Braves are playing just as bad. Somehow the Phillies still have an 8.5 game lead. So, I mean, thank God they were so hot when they were. I do think they'll turn it around, and I say that with cautious optimism because of what the Eagles did, but I think they're just too good. Hopefully Nola can come out tonight and be the ace and pick up the slack for Zach Wheeler and need the stopper. He's facing Garrett Cole, who Garrett Cole has not been Garrett Cole this year. So maybe this is what the offense needs. I don't know, but I've already been concerned. I'm slowly moving into the panic mode. So if you aren't panicking yet and you can give me some advice and talk me off the ledge, I would greatly appreciate it. 267-495-8531. That's the Back to the Future voice and text line. Tell me why you're not panicking. I'm just short of panicking. Just short. And if they come out and play like they did last night tonight, I might be panicking. But I don't know. Tawan Walker, the news with him, he's going to be making a rehab appearance in Reading tomorrow and could be ready to be back into the rotation after this West Coast trip. Spencer Turnbull should be coming back to start doing some rehab stuff in the next couple weeks. So you got help coming that way. Will they make a trade today? I don't know. And again, I don't know if it's even going to matter. I think this team is talented. They're not as bad as they're playing right now. I don't know if they were as good as they were playing earlier in the season. But talk me off the ledge, please. And then go to phillygoat.com. They're doing some great things over there, hooking up charities, whether it's Hugh Douglas's charity, the Darren Doughton Foundation charity, Battle Brothers. They have all kinds of shirt, the T-Mac Kruk. And again, in a game like this, I did watch until it was 9-4. Those guys really earn their money on games like last night, and I don't think there's a better announcing duo than T-Mac and Kruk. If you get the yard sign or the T-shirt, it'll help the Battle Brothers Foundation. You buy the Hugh Douglas shirt, it'll help his out. They got the Von Hayes shirt. It's back to school time, so start your back to school shopping early. And if you use the promo code Jim Montgomery, you get 10% off your order. So go to phillygoat.com, check out their wide selection of stuff. And I think my kids have been bugging me too. Everybody puts stickers on their water bottles. They have some great stickers for you as well. So go to phillygoat.com, use that promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. And then go check out my boys at the Clashing Conferences. They got their baseball shows in full gear now, gearing up for their football, and that's available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. All right, Nick Sirianni spoke yesterday and didn't say a lot, but some takeaways. Jalen Hurts looks good. He did say that they are consciously trying to do more conditioning and being in the best shape that they can be in to start the season to avoid another collapse like they had last year. And he did say conditioning he's not having them running. And I don't even know if I can say this anymore, but when I was a kid, they were called suicides, gassers, whatever. He said it's not all about doing that. It's about just being in the best shape and practicing hard. So apparently they're going to put the pads on today, which is a very old school move, which I like. He also said that Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt and Patrick Johnson have been outstanding in camp so far. John Ross, by all accounts, has had an excellent camp and is in contention now for that third receiver. He always was fast, but they said his hands, he's had a few nice catches in practice, so that's a good thing. And then finally, the last thing I want to talk about, and what are we doing? Josh Sweat changed his number from 94 to 19 because he wanted to change. He said he feels slimmer and faster. And he was asked yesterday why number 19, and he was like, originally he wanted 15, but that's retired for Steve Van Buren's number. So he went with 19. He was just like, it's new. I feel good about it. They asked him, well, why 19? And he's like, no reason. 15 was gone. And he did say he wore 9 in high school and 9 in college. Couldn't get 9 in the pros and kind of mumbled something. It almost seems as though number 9 is semi-retired. What are we doing here? Like, I get it. I absolutely get it. But no, It should not be a retired number. It's embarrassing. I'm sorry. It is absolutely embarrassing. And you might disagree, and this might be the hottest take I've ever put on this podcast. No. Yes, he won the Super Bowl. Yes, it was a magical year. You do not retire number 9. I'm fine with the statue. I'm fine with the Philly statue. We don't need to retire number 9. What are we doing? Like, stop it. Stop. I'm fine taking it out of circulation for a little bit of time until he officially retires and comes back and does the retirement ceremony. And sure, put him in the Eagles Hall of Fame. I'm fine with that. No, we do not need to retire Nick Foles number 9. But that does lead us to today's question of the day. What do you think? Should the number 9 be retired by the Eagles? I am a resounding no. But let me know what you think. 267-495-8531 is the Back to the Future text line. Answer that and get anything else Philly sports related. Help me out to talk me off the ledge with the Phils. If you want to talk about body image issues, that's all fair game. But 267-495-8531. Should Nick Foles, number 9, be retired? I say absolutely not. No way, no how. All right, quickly, the Flyers situation with Kulisov is an interesting one because it seems that there's conflicting reports from everybody. Apparently, he requested to be put in a hotel by himself because he didn't want to have a roommate. Apparently, he never asked to opt out of his contract and go back. So, from the Flyers' perspective, I guess they're expecting him. It's a very convoluted, confusing story that I could not figure out. But they're kind of expecting him to be in training camp now. But I don't know. I think the Flyers should come out and address it because there's various reports of, like, everybody has a report and all the reports are different. So I think it would behoove the Flyers to come out and address it. And the one highlight from the Phillies game yesterday is Matvei Mishkov threw out the first pitch. It was pretty cool. Met with Rob Thompson, who used to play hockey in Canada when he was a kid. They had a nice conversation. But this dude, he's doing all the right things. And I think he's going to be the face of the franchise no matter what Danny Briere says. Good things are on the horizon. But Matvei Mishkov didn't throw a bad pitch. I've seen way worse first pitches than what Mishkov did. So we'll take it. Didn't help the Eagles or the Phillies on the field, though. All right, today we're going to go back to 2006. And July 30th, 2006 was an extremely busy day for the Phillies. First, in a salary dump move, they traded Bobby Abreu and Corey Lytle to the Yankees for a bunch of prospects. Excuse me. Pat Gillick essentially said he was giving up on the 2006 season and don't expect them to compete in 2007. He did say they would be contenders in 2008. Well, the Phillies, as we know, got it together, really turned the corner in 2007, and then did win in 2008. So kudos to Pat Gillick for calling his shot that the Phillies would be contenders in 2008. But they did trade Bobby Abreu, who might be one of the most polarizing Philly athletes, I would say, of all time. Played on some pretty shitty teams, could never get that team over the hump, but put up some good numbers, and you have a lot of fans on both sides. There are people who can make the argument that he's a Hall of Fame caliber player. There are some players like my brother who says his numbers were hollow, and then he was lazy in the field and only won the Gold Glove. I forget what year he won. I think it was 2005 as a lifetime achievement award type deal. I don't know. I mean, I feel like he was a great player. He just didn't really have anybody else to play with him. I do think the trade of Bobby Abreu helped to kind of spark that team because they did go out then later that day and swept the Marlins in a doubleheader. Game 1, they won 11-5. Game 2, they won 9-2. Chase Utley went 2 for 5 and 2 for 4, respectively, in those games to extend his hitting streak to 31 games. It would reach 35 before it ended. For those keeping score at home, the team record is 38, set by J-Roll, and that was between the end of the 2005 season, beginning of the 2006 season. He had that hitting streak. Mike Lieberthal hit a grand slam in Game 1, and in Game 1, Ryan Howard walked 5 times, tying the National League record for walks in a 9-inning game. There have been 4 guys that have done it, or 3 guys have done 6 walks in a game, including Bryce Harper, but they were extra innings. The Major League record is 6, set by Jimmy Fox, who happened to play for the Philadelphia Athletics, but did this while playing for, I think it was the Yankees he played for, because they were against the Red Sox, or it was while he was playing for the Red Sox. I will confirm that for tomorrow. But Ryan Howard and Chase Utley both homered in the second game of the doubleheader, and the Phillies moved within, after trading and giving up on the season, they moved within 6 games of the wild card and ended up only 3 games back, kind of setting the tone then for that 2007 season where they chased down the Mutts and won the division. But on this day in 2006, Bobby Abreu and Corey Lytle were traded away to the Yankees in a salary dump move. Pat Gillett cautioned everybody that 2008 would be the year for the Phillies, and then the Phillies ended up going on a nice little run to end that season. They swept the Marlins in a doubleheader. Chase Utley extended his hitting streak to 31 games. Ryan Howard tied a National League record, walking 5 times. Just a busy day. And then Mike Lieberthal threw in a grand slam for good measure. And that all happened on this day in 2006. Will today be that busy for the Phillies? 75% of you hope so. All right, and finally today, our Philly Olympic Spotlight. We're going to spotlight Justin Best, who is a rower from Kennett Square down in southern Chester County and a Drexel grad. This is his second Olympics. He took 4th in the 2020 Olympic Games in the men's 8. This year, he is competing in the men's 4. And they won their heat on Sunday, so they will be in the finals. And actually, one of his teammates in that boat, we talked about Nick Mead from Stratford the other day. Those two are in the same boat looking for gold on Thursday. Tomorrow at 6:10 a.m. I believe I have that time right. Hopefully that's not 6 p.m. Paris time, but I think I got it right. But he will be going for the gold tomorrow in the men's 4 at 6:10 a.m. along with Nick Mead from Stratford. But Justin Best is our spotlight today. He and Nick Mead will be going for the gold. Justin is a 4-time Dadvale Regatta winner at Drexel. He took the silver medal in the 2023 World Champion for the men's 4. So certainly a gold medal is in play tomorrow morning for Justin Best. Justin, go out and do Southern Chester County proud. Do Drexel University proud, and let's bring home this gold medal tomorrow. But Justin Best, rower from Kennett Square and Drexel University, is today's Philly Olympic Spotlight. On this day in 2006, Phil swept the doubleheader from the Marlins. Chase Utley extended his hitting streak to 31 games. Ryan Howard walked 5 times in a game, tying a National League record on the same day that the Phillies traded Bobby Abreu and Corey Lytle to the Yankees. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on Nick Foles' number being retired. Yes or no? 267-495-8531. I'm a resounding no. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I get that was one of the biggest moments in my Philly sports history, life history, whatever you want to call it. You don't retire number 9. If you're going to retire a quarterback's number, retire number 12, Randall. But that's another topic for another day. But let me know your thoughts. I will respect your opinion. I will tell you you're wrong if you think you should retire Nick Foles' number. We'll continue to monitor the trade deadline to see if Dave Dombrowski has anything up his sleeve. Hopefully the product on the field is much better today than it is tomorrow. We need some of that playoff NOLA magic. And again, team-only meeting, whatever you got to do, stop pressing so hard. Everybody is trying too hard. The only one that's actually doing well right now is Castellanos, and I feel like he just goes out there and swings. But we need to get it together. Remember, if you're having body image issues, you're not alone. It's not something that's typically just for women. I struggle with them all the time. So if you need some help, hit me up. Go talk to someone. But it's okay. You're not alone. We can get through this. We will have more on our men's history or men's issues next week. But until then, go out. It's supposed to be a rainy, steamy, whatever day. Hopefully the Phils can pull it together. But go have yourselves a Tuesday. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for July 30th, 2024. I'm Jim Montgomery. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.